Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Show. Today I'm giving you guys a Dragon Ball Super Episode 54 review. A little bit late, couple days, but I am back from my trip to Tampa Bay and Comic-Con. It was an amazing thing. I'll do videos on that. I have vlogs. I didn't record quite as much as I wanted to, but I'm here with this review back, and it was a really good episode. I really did like it. I didn't expect a whole lot from it. I mean, the whole episode was really kind of focused on, from the preview, what it was showing at least, it was going to be focused on, Vegeta and Trunks, which, it kind of, was a thing in the episode. You guys probably saw it since this is a few days late, but I really did, even though it was maybe a little bit light on substance, enjoyed the episode. I shouldn't say light on substance. I don't know what the word is. Maybe, there wasn't much, obviously at stake. Not a whole lot was happening these last few episodes, but this was nice to see some of this stuff. Seeing Trunks and Vegeta fight. All this stuff, I really did enjoy it. Getting to know more about Zumasu and even Gowasu, the older Kai, who is the master of Zumasu, who is an apprentice, is really cool to see us. But the episode starts with some stuff with Trunks, and there's time machine stuff too, but I'll talk about that a little bit after. What was really cool is when we see Trunks in the beginning of the episode on the water, and he's floating on the water and thinking about Black. And there's this scene where he's kind of having not really flashbacks, but like visions of Black and him fighting, and Black at one point kind of goes back past him and cuts him, and there's like this spray of white substance. You'll make your jokes or whatever. It was a cool looking scene. Nice art direction there, really. Shu and Meyer there analyzing it. Shu's talking about how like Trunks is in a really deep trance, in a really good mindset here. He's thinking about Black. And there's this really stupid scene where Mai's, Kid Mai is in the future. You guys saw the episode. I'm assuming most people that watch my reviews see the episodes, but I do have to recap it, regardless, and give my thoughts. Kid Mai's in the future, and Trunks is there, with her dying, but it's still Kid Mai, and it's really creepy, and he goes to kiss her, and it's very, very... I understand it was a joke scene, but it was creepy. It was really creepy, but moving past that, they're really doing stuff with that Kid Mai and Trunks and stuff, and it's just really weird. But I know it's gonna lead up to Mai really falling in love with Kid Trunks rather than being stuck on future Trunks. I know that's what's gonna happen. Hopefully it is. But we see that Bulma's getting the time machine ready, fixing it up. Dr. Brief is getting the juice that is the time machine's fuel, and there's some stuff with Pilaf, trying to make gags, but again, the Pilaf stuff is not being funny recently, and it's been funny in Super before, and it wasn't like before. I've complained in the past in this arc specifically. Other arcs has been fine. Pilaf stuff has been good, and I know they're trying. I appreciate that they're using the character. They keep using the gang. I do appreciate that they're not forgetting about them. They are somewhat minor characters at this point, but they are doing stuff with them. Maybe a little too much, I'd say, because a lot of it's not really hitting a home run in terms of comedy. But this, again, it wasn't offensive. It wasn't during some intense scene or anything that was supposed to be sad. It didn't break up any of that. It was fine the way they approached it, but it just wasn't a funny scene. Him messing with the computer and Bulma yelling at him. It was just very simple, but not very funny at all. But it wasn't offensive, so I'm not going to complain too much, but they really do need to step up the approach to the comedy. I didn't find it funny. Maybe some of you did. But what else happens is we get Whis talking about Zumasu and Black and what they've discovered by going to Universe 10, and he kind of deduces that Zumasu is most likely not Black, but Beerus goes on to say, well, Zumasu's going about how, Black has a much more evil ki, and it was not the same as Black, essentially. He had similar ki, but it was not quite the same. Talking about how he did not have the appearance and all sorts of things. Then Beerus says, he does not have the attention yet. So, kind of alluding to the fact that this might be something that happens in the future, with Zumasu maybe turning to a more evil and sinister side to eradicate humans. Whether it be him or his master Gowasu, me and Mike have talked about this, especially over this last weekend. Guasu, the Master Kai, maybe being black or something going on there. There's a Dragon Ball Heroes trailer, which obviously is not canon part of the series, but there's a Dragon Ball Heroes trailer where Zamasu is watching Goku and Black fight. Even though it's just a game trailer, it is something I think that is worth looking at. But, that's another discussion for another day. But Beerus mentions that stuff. Trunks is very, very, he really wants to get answers on who he is. He's very, 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 very persistent to figure this out. He's very impatient. That's the word I'm looking for, impatience. I didn't have it right there. But we go back to Zamasu and Goasu's planet in Universe 10, and there is a scene where it shows another planet nearby or whatever. I don't know exactly where it is. Barbarous or something like that. It was basically like, a pun on barbarian. That was the planet. And it showed these humanoid type beings that were very aggressive towards each other. Very, very barbarish, obviously, from the name. And, Zamasu and Goasu are talking about, like, look at these humans, human type beings that are very, very violent and a threat. And Zumasu's trying to tell Goasu we should intervene, but Goasu says that's the god of destruction's job. So they decide, Goasu decides at least, let's look 1,000 years into the future with these time rings that they have. They use the one time ring. The green time rings, from what I gathered, I may have missed some stuff, but from what I gathered from those green time rings that are in the box, those are from worlds and new timelines being created or something. It could have been a little off my sub, so I'm not quite sure. If you guys can explain it a little bit better for me in the comments, that'd be appreciated. If we know the answers officially of what that is, because Zamasu himself didn't really seem to understand what was going on. It really didn't seem very well explained, and it might have been done on purpose, or my subs were off. I apologize that I don't have the answer right here. But they take one of the time rings to go into the future, and Goasu gives Zamasu one of his Potara earrings, the green and gold earrings, and tells him to put it on his left ear so they don't fuse, because they have them on the same ear so they don't fuse. That makes Zamasu officially, from what it's implied, to be a Kai, so he can use the time ring with Goasu to go to the future. They go there, and it looks like they have a bit of a society built, but they still have this barbarish nature. So that kind of, is, I guess, more foreshadowing to the fact that one of these two beings, if not both of them, are going to be involved with the creation of Black and the destruction of humanity in the future. Whatever happens there, I did like that. I really hope it's not, again, as simple as just Zamasu being Black. I hope maybe Goasu is Black Goku, because they both have the earring on their left ear. I know I don't like looking at the earring thing, but since they are in the same arc, both of them have the earring on the left ear, so it could be either one of them that turns into Black. Maybe Goasu becomes more corrupt. They both become corrupt. I'm not sure yet, but I hope it is a little bit more in-depth than just being Zamasu, as opposed to, both of them. I do hope that's the case. We also get Trunks and Vegeta training. Vegeta wants him to come with him, and he says, I'm going to train you. And Trunks wants Vegeta to come at him as a Super Saiyan 3, but he goes immediately Super Saiyan Blue after laughing. And what happens then is Trunks kind of realizes that Vegeta and Goku both have this blue form. Beerus mentioned earlier that Goku was able to compete with him, and that Black would be pretty much no challenge because of that. And Trunks kind of pieced together that Goku has his blue form as well, which he pieces things together very quick. It's cool to see that he does piece it together very quick. Obviously, he's a smart guy. But what happens next is, after he goes blue, Vegeta's like, you gotta land one hit on me. Actually, I think he says that beforehand. But in order to win, he just needs to land one hit on Vegeta to win the fight. So what Trunks does is he powers up to the grade 3 Super Saiyan, or Ultra Super Saiyan Trunks, and the buff one he used against Cell, and Vegeta is very disappointed that he's relying on that form as opposed to the Super Saiyan 2 form that he was just in. But as soon as Vegeta charges him, he transforms back to Super Saiyan 2, which would it be I'm thinking here because Super Saiyan 2 would be above that. Maybe not necessarily in terms of power, because it's implied in this episode that Super Saiyan Grade 3 or Ultra would be stronger in terms of raw power. So would it be a downgrade or an upgrade? I guess an upgrade technically. So I guess he upgrades back to Super Saiyan 2 before Vegeta strikes and kind of dodges it to fake him out, which was a really cool move. It was very, very, very cool to see a move like that. That's not something we've really seen in Dragon Ball yet, I don't think. And Trunks gets mud stomped. It's not even a fight. Vegeta demolishes him, and Goku feels the key of Vegeta powering up initially and kind of takes Bulma to go see the fight. And what happens then is Trunks obviously gets demolished. But what was cool is when Trunks is in his base form after getting demolished, you know, Vegeta's taunting him. Trunks is saying, you know, I don't need to get this strong if there's people like you out here. And then he kind of comes to the realization that I will surpass Goku Black and you know, his father. And what then happens is Vegeta goes to his base form, and when Vegeta's not paying attention, Trunks headbutts him, which was awesome to see that. And he's like, well, there's my one hit. I guess I win, huh? So it's very cool to see that. We see Beerus and Whis at their planet next, but before I talk about that, I do want to say there was a scene before they started fighting Trunks and Vegeta with them in the time chamber. You know, flashback to the Cell Saga. What was cool about that is that it was a new art style. You know, if you like that or not, I prefer the old one. I don't mind the new art style either. It's, you know, anime evolves, or I guess maybe in some people's cases devolves. It's all computers now. But what was cool is to see like that kind of, you know, flashback to the Room of Spirit and Time, or hyperbolic time chamber, whatever you call it. It's cool to see that kind of flashback with that stuff. We didn't really get any new info, but it's cool to just see them kind of call back to that. But I do like to see that stuff. I really do. But Beerus and Whis' planet, we see that, and Whis is like frying up some food for Beerus. I wasn't really sure what it was, but obviously it was probably something from Earth, I assume. Maybe, you know, he learns to cook Earth food now. But what happens is they get a phone call from Zeno, and he requests Goku. And then the episode kind of ends off, and then we get the preview, which I'll talk about in my predictions and all that stuff, which quite honestly doesn't have a whole lot going on in it, it didn't seem. But more on that later on. But I did think it was a good episode overall. Very nice animation. A lot of the close-up shots in this episode were very beautifully crafted. A lot of the characters looked really good in this episode. But I did like all the things that were said in this episode. The stuff with Vegeta and Trunks. I do wish Vegeta was Super Saiyan 2 before he went blue to fight Trunks, even though Vegeta still would have mud stomped him. But, you know, oh well. We got what we got, and it was still pretty good. I like the stuff that was done in this episode. It was a very, very solid episode. So, that's my review. Maybe it was a little bit mixed up this time. I'm very, very, very tired from the flight. I had to fly back into New York at, I got up at like 3 something, and the flight was at 5 a.m. So, I was very tired. So, I'm going to crash out after this. But, hopefully you guys do enjoy the review. If I missed something, I apologize. Let me know down below. If you have something that you'd like me to talk about more that was in this episode, let me know down below. Other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. Share your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you later.